I can't imagine it'd be very comfortable.
That's the tallest you've ever looked at.
Is this scheduled? I can't find it.
It'll be live in a sec.
Okay, just going straight to live.
So they used to see me stopping dangerous tracks and stuff, did they?
Really
Stopped in dangerous tracks, didn't they?
You did? Wait, dog games just now?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Why have I missed it?
Well, it's not how you'll beat me.
Oh, so basically pulled out at straps with you at Birmingham, running back.
Well, no, because I dounced him earlier on for about 20 minutes.
So are you saying you've
Just
not
at
got
one.
the
That's
stamina
the
now?
one,
You're
yeah.
Huh?
not got the stamina.
Am I breathing or is he breathing? Whose cardio's affected here?
Well, I'd like to think you're both breathing, otherwise I'm down giving one of you a kiss on that.
Who's affected? And who's rubbing their arm? With that? He's the one like, I don't want to do too much. Okay, no.
I thought they'd show.
gentlemen, we are live. And there's a lot of arguing going on already. You've joined us in the aftermath. But before we start, let me just say and give you a quick disclaimer. This isn't necessarily the thoughts of myself or anybody else in this room. It's a banter aftermath show that we speak about arm wrestling and possibly touch on certain things that other arm wrestling shows wouldn't. So if you're easily offended or you've got your children in the room, you might be better off going to them and give them a good night, good blessed kiss, because this show could offend any of the awake people that sit behind the screen watching it. So, without further ado, let's get started. And I had to do that for people who fell out with other people last week. And Nick, well, what happened to you today? The midget missile got tossed out the window.
It did. We had a chat earlier in the week, Paul, and I thought,
Can I just say, one moment, let me just have a look who's in the chat. Go on, Manda, who's in? Because, last week someone said to us, you never said that we're in the chat and we watch you every week.
Oh,
so come on.
So George is in the chat. Not clean out. Holly Stewart. Good evening, Holly. Dan John. John T. Murphy. Bolt. Marcus Thompson's in the chat early tonight. That's about it so far.
Well. Oh no, there's 30 joining. I only actually like one of them, and that's Holly. I mean Dean Bolt. I mean, do you know Dean Bolt? Anyone?
What tag team partner for Zuma next week?
Oh, is he? Well, I thought he died.
No.
Oh, is he not? Oh. Anyway, so let's get back to your terrible showing.
Yeah, I mean, it went the way I thought it was going to go, because I did feel like it was a bit of a stretch for me to face Josh, but I was to be in the match, and I was happy that it wasn't 3 flash pins in a row. So yeah.
Well, I'll be completely honest with you. I just felt him on side table right and really weak.
He did look it. I think he might be injured on his right. He didn't look very strong.
No, no. I mean, do you see the way his hand just fell back? Just like
it was already back when he set up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Weird.
To be fair, that's not what I've heard.
I know, but you've also heard that James Wall's got 8 inches, and that's a lie. It's only 7.5.
I'll take your word for that, Paul, because you like looking at penis.
Well, that's the one. Sorry, Mark. You're the closest person to me. And talk about a shriveled penis. We'll get to you in a minute. No, but on a serious note, Nick, I mean, pulling with Josh tonight, it was a good show, man. I mean, I thought you stepped up well. You coming up from that 86 kilo class, obviously Josh, he's 95 kilo right king, but I mean, he's squatting at 105 something now. They're arguing over 2 kilos, but yeah, he's coming up a much bigger weight. So it was good to get you out of your weight class. It was good to get you out there and pull a less pressured match. I mean, now that you're for the top spots in the 86 kilo class, and in that class there, now there's a lot of pressure comes to them matches, especially when you're in that upper echelon, that 4th, 5th place. So pulling Josh relieved a bit of pressure, so you can have fun.
Yeah, definitely. And we had obviously the rounds that we had in the match. We've just had a little bit of a pull afterwards, and there were definitely some spots that if I can land in, it's a real match between us, and is a bit lacking from me being able to get from A to B right now. But it made me feel like just having the match itself and having the experience that I'm maybe from my hand and wrist, maybe about 5% off actually giving Josh a better match than today, and it being a real contended match. So it does is motivate me. So I'm happy with that.
And we've got chat there. We've got Matt if I'm wrestling. Sorry, buddy, I don't know.
Matt Smith.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's Matt Smith arm wrestling. Yeah, Josh looking like an absolute weapon. Yeah, you got the weapon bit right. Yeah. And Dylan Gosling. That Ryan has great potential, especially being so strong and new. Well, yeah, we'll touch on that, Nick. Why you've got your guy Ryan at the side here. So those of you who don't know him, his name's Ryan Mackins. He's a professional bodybuilder, and he's dipping his toes into the world of arm wrestling. He's training over at Bionic Strength in Oldham with Nick Dodd. You must be pleased for him after that big win over.
Oh, I'm absolutely buzzing, and I believe that out of the matches that Ryan's had so far, so he had a match with Zolt, he's had a few like little ones at our club, he had Noah, and I think that that's the match that Ryan's held it together the most in, is today, which is showing that his training experience is paying off a bit more, because he's got a good move, but usually when he doesn't quite get what he wants, it then goes to shit. And today was the first day that he held his shit together on the table, so I was buzzing to see. Yeah, really good.
And just give that to Ryan Bulls for a few moments. So we just heard what Nick's got to say. You sat there looking like 130. What's that in stone? 20 stone?
Yeah, just over 20 and a half. 20 and a half. Yeah.
20 and a half
all
stone.
counts,
Rock solid. I mean, Matt Walden, I mean, you've given me his... I mean, it used to be a Josh Davis book of excuses, but now we've definitely got the Matt Walden's book of excuses, because every interview that we heard... I mean, we just play it for the people there. I mean, I'm sure... let's just clip over for a moment. We'll just see if I can get it on for you guys, because somewhere on here, Matt Walden, you know, he might have just... yeah, he's height and weight again. So let's just have a quick look.
Today I'll be facing the giant Ryan Mackins. He's 6'4" and 20 stone. I'm going to need some mum-ra power to beat him, but I'll be using it and taking him to the pad. Armwrestler 8, I'll be facing the giant Ryan Mackins.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, Matt Walden, 6'4", 20 plus stone, absolute titan.
As long as there's no bulge going on, as you say. That's why you get a bit excited.
Yeah, so your first experience on the Ultimate Arm Wrestler?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's very different from bodybuilding. Bodybuilding shows, I'm going to say it, they're boring as fuck, to be honest with you. So it's a bit of excitement. It's a bit of electricity and some production value as well. It just feels good. It feels really, really good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of it.
Marcus Thompson just said this one for you, Ryan. Marcus, okay, Ryan did something Weight Watchers couldn't do it for Paul. Made him look 105 kilo for the first time. You get a lot of props in here. Ryan is seriously fucking strong. Once he gets more experience, people are in trouble, and that comes from your training partner. He's got to say it, Darren. Yeah. Come on. I mean, that guy, fucking hell. I mean, talk about a wrestler who's pissing in wind. I mean, fucking, he's got a wrist like a fucking flag on a fucking 17th century ship, hasn't he? Like this all the time, you know what I mean? No, but yeah, I mean, you know, I remember you coming down here about a year ago. Maybe just after when I first saw you, May 23. Tom Holland was dressed up as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was at the Manchester Fit Expo.
Yes.
And you watching around in your vest and you're loving arm wrestling and everyone's like, I've Spider-Man, I bet, you know, and they go on that classic physique look thinking, I'll kill him. Yeah. And then Tom Holland obviously humbled you that day because no one knew. Well, obviously, Tom Holland's Tom Holland and he humbles most people. Mm-hmm. But obviously the crowd were like in awe. And I remember you then being obsessed with a bit of arm wrestling. And you were saying, I love it. You know, I really want to get involved in arm wrestling, but my bodybuilding career, I really want to get my pro card, etc. And then, you know, like most bodybuilders we see come to them shows, when they get humbled, you really see him again. But what was good to see with you is we did see you again. We saw you again and again and again. And you even come down here and did a bit of training with me and James Beach and stuff. And, you know, I have to say that you get very few people transition from other sports and stay with them, realise they're not the best. And Nick Dobb was one of them. When he first come, he was going to come into the world of arm wrestling and destroy it like he did all his other sports. And then when he realised that that wasn't the case, his professionalism and dedication then obviously stepped up, and now he's making his way through. You're fully aware that you're not going to blast onto the scene straight away, but you've got a long sight, not a short sight. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. I cut my tongue quite a lot, you know, in terms of like bigging matches up and even trash talking, because I really don't know where I'm at, if I'm honest. I know that I'm strong, but I'm strong relative to bodybuilding. I used to do a bit of powerlifting too, but I don't know where I'm at. I've got a couple of good moves, but I know that this is a long way to go. You know, even feeding Tom that day, everyone was coming up to me saying, "Oh, what? You can't fucking beat him." I'm like, you don't get it. I've been watching arm wrestling for probably 10 years, so this isn't just a fleeting thing for me. This isn't something that I'm going to come and go. I'm going to be here. I'm telling you, now, I'm going to be here. I just have to be mindful because it's my career as well. But yeah, I'm fully aware that I'm nowhere near where I'm going to be. I'm fully aware. So it's a long game for me, for sure.
And when do you think, you know, before we move over to your opponent over here, when do you think we're going to see a transition from the bodybuilding fully to arm wrestling?
So what would be nice if I can have a few more super matches 2025, maybe a couple of tournaments. I don't know. I don't know what the schedule is and how it's going to work, but I'm not competing next year bodybuilding. I'm taking a year off to try and get a bit bigger. So, yeah. So you're going to look 100 kilos next time instead.
Another excuse for you, though, mate.
Yeah. So yeah.
Will keep adding 5 kilo every time he talks about you.
It's 400 kilograms.
Yeah, it'd be like that Braveheart next time. Told you he was 7 feet tall and whatever he was.
7 feet 12.
Yeah, and he fired thunderbolts out of his arse.
But yeah, so next year there is no bodybuilding competitions, so it opens the door for this. So in an ideal world, I'd be running it alongside, but 2021 is going to be a big year for sure.
I think your path really, mate, has to be. Paul's got a novice show in January. Like, that will be a great one for you to just get yourself into. But you need to be thinking this year about novice champs.
Definitely.
That's got to be the one. We get you in the novice champ, super heavyweight, and really find out where your level is right now.
Definitely. I think just need to work out the schedule. I need to understand dates and whatnot. And I think one of the problems I found before is I'm trying to do 2 things and it doesn't really work. I've said this to you like many times before. And I need if I'm actually going to be taking this seriously, I don't want to half it. I want to be good.
Yeah.
I don't just want to.
I understand that. I the same when I first started. I was still dabbling with strongman a little bit at the same time, and then eventually I was like, oh, I guess my elbow's just gonna fall off. Do both of these things, So I had to make some choices, and I know you're not in a place in your life and career to make them choices now. So what you're doing is absolutely fine. But you can still progress through the ranking and through the community the way you are doing by more participation this year.
Yeah, definitely. I know, but I do know that there's the ceiling with the career that I've got going on at the moment with bodybuilding. There's a ceiling for how good I can get. When bodybuilding takes more of a back step, this is going to take the lead, and yeah, hopefully I can actually be a force in the heavyweights. But at the moment, I'm a way away from that.
Yeah, but you smashed it, man.
Chat, Ryan, somebody's Dean Bolt's asking how old are you?
18. 37. 37.
Darren thought you were 34, so yeah,
Yeah,
give you a couple of years.
Youthful.
A couple of other comments there. Marcus has said that your growth, Nick, has been amazing, and you're now up there with.
Not quite.
Claire,
Not quite. Not quite.
Is it me?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's still valid. Not quite. No.
Claire was saying she doesn't get enough credit for how quickly you're progressing in the sport. It was good to see you in the match with Josh. She doesn't think you've got too far to go till you get in some of those pins.
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
And well, let's just ask Matt Walden what he felt, and then we're going to obviously move off to the ginger nut over in the corner there. Go on, Matt.
Cheers. So, shall I mention that he's 7 feet tall and 200?
No. Oh, just tell us a bit about your experience in there. Don't look at me. Look at the camera over there.
Yeah, sure. So it was a good test for me because I've trying to do a bit of a reset with my training. We're trying to get to some injuries healed up and just getting things reset a bit so far as getting back into using some old techniques. So it was a good test, and it showed me that I've still got a little way to go. I expected Ryan to be strong, and he was really strong. So I had one plan, and that was to burn him out, because I knew that with big muscles comes a lot of lactic acid. So So every round for me was going to be ref's grip, slip, straps, ref's grip again. Dead wrist, yeah, and basically the first round, in fact, Josh advised that I try and block him with like a high hook, which I did try, but in the first round he was still far too fast and too strong, and he immediately just opened me up, and that's when I got a little bit of a stop in with wrist on again, but it wasn't enough. But by the third round, when I got that almost pin because I was touching my. See, look, there's a bit of chalk here. I don't know where that came from. So that Ryan felt a lot different, and I know he admitted it himself that he was lactic was building up at that point. If it'd been a few more rounds, things might have been different. Maybe I should have tried to set the hook, then go for that second flop press in that third round. It maybe would have been enough. But certainly the first 2 rounds, he was way too fast and way too strong. He was a long way away from where I am.
No, I'm honest with you, and I'm quite honest with you. I mean, I've messaged you at home privately, haven't I?
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Oh, and tried to give you tips and drinks, and I was ready for strangling you to death. The thing is, you said we were talking about your stats earlier, and I give you 7.5 on your speed, and you said maybe that should be 7, Paul. Well, what are you playing at with press? Because if you don't get a Devil's press on within a blink of an eye, then it ain't going on. I mean, you got him on when I think he missed a goal, and you got it on a little bit, and it was a touch and go. But for me personally, Mark, I've noticed that I've seen you was doing it at nationals and things, and you might get the odd win, but you're a good arm wrestler. And then what was frustrating for me is that you are strong inside. You've got a really good top roll as well, and you're a good arm wrestler, and you've got second in the world. You got second in Europe, in the Grandmasters division with big top rolls and hooks. And I'm just thinking, why have you suddenly gone down this dead wrist press route?
Yeah, well, top roll's out for me at the minute because of my injury, which is getting better, but it's just not healed up enough to use a top roll. I get pain immediately as soon as the pressure hits it, so that's gone. I would have loved to have pulled Ryan in the hook. I thought about trying to get rid of top roll, but again, trying to set that hook for me, it was going to be too slow. And I know what you're saying, that my flop press is not fast, but it's faster than that setting the hook. So I thought, well, if I can tire him out a little bit, it might be an opportunity later down in the later rounds to set the hook. But it didn't transpire. But I get what you're saying. I do need to be setting the hook. That's where I want to be. We had a little play on the table to see where we are in the hook, and things are a bit different there. Be it, we've already had all our rounds, but that's where I want to be. The flop is merely for me at the moment, just a me. And that's what it should be.
Okay, that's fine, but then don't go for it again while you're in strap.
No.
I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Cornerman's a wanker.
Yeah, it was his fault. He kept saying to me, "Press, Mark."
Question for you though, Mark.
Yeah, go on.
Claire's asking what weight you are at the minute, and do you think you've struggled with losing a little bit of weight?
Yeah, so I've had some real kind of health issues with weight because I dropped from 1718 to 90 to make the 95. So I was about 97, and then I was water cutting for 95. But then in Worlds, I dropped right down to 90. I just started putting it back on, and then about a month ago, I was ill again. I dropped back down to 90 again. So with that big drop, I've lost a lot. Probably I'd say I'd put myself 30% down currently where I am with numbers in the gym. So I need to build back up, and I'm wondering if I should go back up to 105s again because I felt good at 105. So yeah, maybe it's definitely had an effect.
Jonty's in the chat as well, and he agrees with Paul that you definitely can arm wrestle and you can counter.
So I mean, from my perspective, yes, I agree with Paul that it's got to be rapid. And me and Noah both had this conversation with each other because obviously we both use that move. And after rounds, after tournaments, people come to us and say, "Oh, will you do that press for us, but slower?" I'm like, no, because it don't work then. Like, you don't get to feel the press until you feel the press with speed. And when you went for it in the strap, that's when I was like, that's where your arm can turn inside out, and I honestly felt, obviously me and Ryan train together a lot. You have better leverage for being high than I do.
Yep.
And I honestly feel if you'd have dropped your body and gone up high, you wouldn't even have to top roll. I think just post up high, you'd have set the hook. I really do think so. I do, yeah.
I mean,
and
that was Josh's advice.
I think you psyched yourself out by looking at him. And I genuinely, if you'd have dropped your body, reached up high, he'd have ran into you to set the hook.
Yeah, I sort of tend to agree that you actually back yourself out of the match. I mean, you kept going. I mean, it's like you're thinking it when you're having a bad day. If you follow law of attraction, and, you speak negative, over a period of day. You get up in the morning and you kick fucking toe and end up bed, and you're like, You go downstairs, you make your coffee, you have your bowl of cornflakes, you spill it on your fucking hell. You jump in car, you get to end at road, there's traffic, fuck's sake. You get in work, and people say, how was your day? And you went, fucking shit. Generally, it's going to be shit all day. You get out of bed in the morning, you start a gobble, Mrs. made you happy. You run downstairs, you have your brew, you throw your cornflakes down, you think, fucking hell, I've got an extra 10 minutes. My TV on, jump in your car, no traffic, head to work. Someone says, how's your day? Absolutely amazing. More than likely, your day's going to be amazing. And the point I'm getting to is, for the last 2 days, all you said is, his arms are massive, he's set me up, he's huge, he's 6 foot. Yeah, are you getting my...
Absolutely get the point. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
okay,
no.
so don't do it again. Now,
Don't do it again.
give that mic over that ginger bastard. Dan, I'm going to throw this to you. I'm going to let you interview. What were your highlights?
I was impressed how Ryan moved because not seen you at all before, didn't see the videos as I was away, and so I kind of expected you to move a bit like a robot, and Walden being a bit tricky, maybe get the better of you on a few of it. But no, I thought you moved very smoothly, so that was impressive. Yeah, so you're very much more connected than I expected, just on the basis of your size and the fact you do. So with Nick and Josh, I kind of expected that Josh would be too much for you, Nick, to be honest, because
It's not what you said on your interview.
I know, because I've got to be unbiased.
Shall we listen to what you said on your interview?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah,
Let's have a listen.
Yeah, go on.
I think you called them...
Just say which interview, because we did about.
Oh, we did loads, yeah.
On the table.
No, I predicted you didn't need to have shoes, you know.
Let's have a little listen.
Yeah, go on.
Does that mean Josh wins the shoes?
Yeah, you have to wear his
You
flip-flops.
get them shoes on.
Yes.
I
Armwrestler
should
shoes.
have brought. Very nice.
Armwrestler 8 tonight on the referee, Dan Earthquake. I've got 2 matches to oversee. Road Warrior Josh Davies against the midget missile Nick Dodd. They're battling over who's going to get the platform shoes. In the other match, unknown quantity, Ryan Mackins takes on, dug up from the grave, Mumra, Mark Walden. I predict tears. Walden doesn't like it when he's gripped. He cries and he moans, but we're going to try and put a stop to that. We want it fast. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go to the Siege of Portadown, which I talk about a lot. I was in the corner for Josh against Marius Godunas. Cracking match. It was best I've ever seen, and he was absolutely out at the first round and carried on for another 6. So I've seen Josh looking like death and still carry on and do very well. So I have to be really convinced someone's going to do something against that. But I've also known that Nick is very fast. I've been on the end a few times. So, and Nick's improving. And the thing is, when people are improving, it's very hard to... Your judgment of what they've done can bear no resemblance to what they're doing or about to do, because we don't see each other that much. It was an interesting match. I think you need a bit of a magnet under your because she was up a few times. And, I know the audio was a little bit tricky in places. Josh was very kind towards the end. He says, don't call any fouls. So, he was giving you the best chance he could to let you do the best you can. And that's the measure of the man, because he doesn't just want to have an easy match. I've never known Josh want an easy match. He wants to win, but he likes to scrap as well. That's why I like watching him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my biggest complaint about the wrestling was probably that you were too observant of the elbow fouls. You probably need to take your eye off the ball a little bit. I was trying my best just to get anything on him. And yeah, you bang on the mark. He
cheating in the setup as well, didn't they?
I was trying my best. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, Josh let it be a match by cancelling out some of the fouls and stuff. He also went into positions that he knew I was strong just to see where he was and test himself. And, and I got a few pins in them spots, so I can't grumble. I'm very, very happy with that. And I appreciate, again, like you say, his sportsmanship in, in making it a challenge for us both. So, yeah, it was ended up a really good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, I agree with that, Nick. I wanted to test myself on the defense, hook, like right deep And to be fair, man, you were mega strong. I couldn't really pull you through it. And you legitimately had 2 pins on me there, you know. Whether I give a little bit or not, it was just yeah, I wanted to test there. And to be honest, man, if only a little, I'd say probably an extra couple of percent on centre, and you can get there, like, you know. And yeah, you're forcing them spots, man. Yeah, I enjoyed the match. My arms pumped up. I had a good workout as well. So yeah, awesome, man.
So, Josh, we've talked about your weight a little bit today, but do you feel your happy weight is? I'm not talking about where you think, where are you most comfortable in?
Chinese buffet.
He's not wrong. Nah, to be honest, mate, it's been a long time since I've actually been 95 kilo walking around weight. Like, I cut a lot of weight to pull that 95 class. Probably 100, probably like 99 to 105 for the last 2 years around there, and even higher at one point. But yeah, a 95 class, I definitely see myself top 3 guy in UK by far. You know, there's a couple of people who are. What's that?
Who above you?
Well, James Wall, if he's actually pulling 95s, he's obviously the top dog, I'd say. Got like people like obviously Dave Bradford. Even though I'm the champ, he's still above me realistically since I've never pulled him.
Can you beat David Bradford?
Can you beat David Bradford?
Definitely, yeah.
Oh,
I've got the strength to beat him, you know, and I just need a bit more technique on pulling the matter, pulling the way he's the style.
Can I just stop you there before we move on?
Go on.
I'm just going to give this back to him in a minute, but let me just tell you, you've no chance at beating David Bradford. You're dreaming, Josh. Listen, I'll tell you this, right?
Go on.
You roll in, you pull Lee Webber. I give Elliot and I give Lee Webber a match, but yeah, when they've already had 25 other matches. Like they're all tired and burnt. You're roided off your nappy, you little fat rat. You look like some little buddy Chinese fucking sumo wrestler. Fucking hell, all I've of is a fucking giant nappy. Right. End of the day, I'll have you £100 bet that David Bradford smashes you to pad. David Bradford, if you're ready,
right, yeah?
we'll get this match out.
Listen, I already said in the chat. I asked you a few months back. Month ago, you said, how long till you give me Bradford? You
Okay,
said,
I'll give
you said 5 to 6 months, and I said, you said, so we can cycle for you.
That's true, I actually said it, yeah. But
is that bet on the he wins the match, or that bet on the Bradford pins him? What we saying?
no, Bradford's going to murder. I mean, like,
so is that £100 on that he loses?
Why is it?
No, listen, end of Josh is a great arm wrestler, right? He's not really a good arm wrestler, he's just been blessed with strength, training his joints. The thing is, right, David Bradford will roll him, we'll roll him like a fucking pastry. Just go with that pre-rolled stuff where you get has to, he'll not have to knead it, he'll just do that, and it's gone like that. And that's the truth. Josh is an amazing arm wrestler, right? But he's like, what, 22 years old? He's got a body of a 70-year-old man. He's a full chemical abuser. He's like, I mean, fucking hell. I mean, when his own friends call him, when his own friends call, oh god,
chemicals in our food.
I know. When his own friends call him the Toxic Avenger. No, I mean, we're talking like serious abuse. But I mean, I know he looks like chips, gravy, pudding, and peas on a plate with a buttered berm at the side and a Dr Pepper. But the truth is, he is a strong guy. But David Bradford, he lives life. He's an athlete. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. He doesn't take drugs. He goes to bed at 10 o'clock at night. He wakes up at 5. He puts it on the line day in, day out. So does James. So does Adrian Popescu. So do all the other champions. But no, he doesn't live that life.
I just rock up a champion.
He doesn't live that life. He's been blessed with joint strength. But unfortunately, them joints at some point are going to crumble. And it's probably going to be tomorrow morning when me and him train in that very back room. In fact, we're going to go live at 6:30 a.m. in the morning on Own Gods, and I'm going to absolutely destroy you. In fact, go and get your Imodium now from Chemist. I'm going to go through you like that. And that's all I've got. That's all I've got to say on that matter. Nick, you can interview the little ginger tosser.
It's funny. That's what I got to say. It's funny. Nah, that's right, man. Go on, Nick. What do you want to say?
So when do you want the match with Bradford then?
Well, whenever Paul decides to make it, you know. He did say about 5 to 6 months, right, Paul?
Well,
you wanted to do it. I don't know what date or what event I'll be in, like, you know.
Well,
but
Probably do it at a big Armwrestler event.
Yeah, that's what I'd imagine. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's one match I'm looking forward to. Like at the end of the day, we ex-training partners. He lives in Scotland now, the other side of the country. Like, so, he's taught. He's battered me for years on a side table and in training and stuff. So it's my time to give the return back. You know. And
Yeah.
I think that, especially in 5 to 6 months, I'll definitely be ready because I'll be training specifically, and he's just one trick pony, you know.
And if you show up the way you did against Popescu, then you never know, do you? We don't know what can come out of that because no one expected that from you then.
No.
And you know you shoot people, you know.
Except for Paul.
Tell the truth.
Nah, he didn't. He thought I was gonna get leathered. And I said, Paul, I'm not gonna get leathered. I'll show you.
So shall we true story? Right. So he's laughing now. He's going all red in case Neil's watching. So I'll tell you a bit of a Neil pickup story, John. So, no, and you know it's true. So don't lie, or you're not fucking sleeping in ground tonight. So the story goes is this. So Neil Pickup rings me when we was actually speaking, which was probably a few years ago. Yeah, it was a while ago. Anyway, so he rings me up. He says, so I'm thinking of giving Harry Leal a match at Armwrestler. Because I think, was James Beach on the same show?
James Beach pulled Rob from...
James Beach was on the same show. James Wall was training with me then. So I was at corner there with you, James Beach, and the James Wall. And Neil said, he said to me, this was weeks before, he says, I think of giving Harry Leal a shot. Wall says, yeah, man. He says, I want it for Popescu. I said, well, get Josh Davis on scene. Oh, no, Josh Davis is not ready. He's not ready for that yet.
It was for Maynard.
Maynard, that's one. He's not ready for them guys yet. He's not ready for them guys. I says, listen to me. He's ready for them guys. No, he's not. I went, I know pullers better than you in this country. You only know 3 of them, the ones that you keep recycling on our watch show. I went, yeah, you're probably right, Paul. I says, I know. Anyway, cut a long story short, he says, oh, think about Josh. So I rings Josh up. I says, listen, Josh, I said everything I explained to Josh. I says, Neil's probably going to ring you up. And lo and behold, about 10 minutes later, he rang Josh up. And he says, Josh, I've been watching all your matches. And you on Arm Wars. Well, he knew Neil was a lying cunt then. And yeah, well, he did, obviously, because I rung you and told you. So anyway, so he knew Neil was a little fibber on his shoulder. So I got him his first shot on Arm Wars, and he did an amazing job, and I backed him against Popescu. I said that Josh Davis would beat Adrian Popescu, and no, everyone else doubted it, and I knew he had the position. And
everyone did think I was going to get leathered.
And I didn't, did I?
And to be honest, in my mind, I was like, I thought if I could set the hook, I could beat him. But I thought when he took my hand, I thought I'd be able to, and I actually really surprised myself that day. Realised how actually good I can pull without my wrist. So
well, I think you pulled every match since without your wrist.
Yeah, literally, he fucked it up. That's right. He was fucked after that.
Well, you not really got a wrist. I mean, you
like that's not happened earlier.
He snowed here a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. You look like my snowman I built in front garden.
Yeah.
I put a gin on it. I mean, you do, don't you? I mean, you've got a professional bodybuilding coach here. I mean, surely he might even give you a sponsorship for get you sorted.
Yeah. Okay. Well, was this free? Fucking nothing.
Yeah. yeah. You would, wouldn't it? Yeah, but I just want to get one thing out there, that Ryan is a professional natural bodybuilder, just so you know, guys. He doesn't condone illegal substances or things in any way, shape or form, and you get like this naturally. How many grams of protein you on, Ryan? No, I mean like bits here. Well, you may as well actually answer that. Has anyone got any questions for a bodybuilding coach while we're here? I know we're going off topic, but you know, we do have people. It's Christmas time. There's quite a lot of fat people, and there's no bacon slicer available. But there is a coach.
Have you asked Ryan for any advice?
I don't need to. I'm beautiful.
So I'll get bigger. Make sure you seem smaller.
What? Because apparently you won't be 95 at some point.
Never happening.
Listen, give me that mic. Listen, sister. I've been at 95 kilos many a time. Don't ever doubt your brother. I was walking around not too long ago at 86 kilos. I was walking 8 miles in the morning. I was walking 4 miles at night. I was training 4 times a day. And yeah, dedication. Unlike you, sit at home, making a wax melt, talking to your mate on, eating a corned beef butter.
You do realise you're in kicking distance.
Talking up phone again. So obviously, but you know, in the genes from our family, you was obviously the born idol one. I mean, you'd probably win that program that just opened up on ITV. It's called Born Idol. You know, it's not a singing show, it's a Born Idol show, and that's you.
Carry on.
So anyway, let's listen to Ryan, not you.
But unfortunately, Ryan, what some people don't realise is whilst Paul might think he was blessed, obviously the looks and the physique, he wasn't blessed with charm and kindness, all those things that you can't buy or put into your body or, you know, pretend about.
I don't want to be blessed with kindness. I don't want to be blessed with all that other bullshit that makes people weak and obscure.
Just testosterone.
Yeah, I'm not interested in being nice. Oh. Yeah, but seriously, man. I mean, like, people were talking about career. Like, the good guy. Who wants a good guy? Women don't want a good guy. Women don't want a good. Oh, they don't want. Women don't want a man that goes home, like, works a 9 till 5 job, comes home, cooks his tea for his wife, gets caught in penny doing that. That guy doesn't go to bed at night and stick his wife's toes in her ears. He doesn't. He doesn't turn her over and slip one in her brown eye. He doesn't. He lies there and he makes love and he comes with her behind her ear. That's the sort of guy what gets that. He gets bored, and guess what? She goes to Flingarola in Spain with a mate, and she goes and gets dicked off Cedrus or fucking Sebastian or whoever, or Carlos Canolo or Fipolopoulos if she goes fucking Greece. That's what happens to them guys. But that doesn't happen to Iron Paul, because Iron Paul's an absolute animal. And he doesn't care what people think. So shut your mouth. Anyway, you can carry on.
I don't follow.
Oh, and if there's any women out there, what, agree? In the comments below.
Right, you got a question?
Oh, go on.
How would you alter your diet for a match?
Well, it depends on your starting position. Right? So if you are too fat, then you probably don't want to be too fat. But then again, you could say.
Hear that, Josh?
No, do you know what? There isn't one set answer. It depends on the individual. If you're carrying a bit too much timber and it's making you a bit worse, making your leverages worse, making you gas out quicker, then you probably want to tighten it up. But then again, if you're a bit too scrawny and you're a bit of a weasel, then you probably want to bulk a little bit. So you probably want to eat a bit more. So it just depends on the person, really. There's no one set answer. Any weasels?
So, yeah, do you think it's healthy when somebody has a quarter of a sweet potato and a sliver of salmon just because they want to make 105?
So Darren's put. It was great seeing Paul turn up to training with his quarter sweet potato and sliver of salmon just to make 105. Love to see him try 95.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? Got to do what you got to do.
An eighth of a potato, and then you're at 95.
But then you went home and ate what?
A 5'7", 62 kilo blonde.
Oh, you better tell it.
Several times. I mean, well, that's what us guys can do.
Of course.
Good looking.
Sexy.
You're slightly more tight than me. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, yeah. The women, I mean, I'm taken, you're taken. But for these single men, like, oh, well, yeah, most people are, but I mean, they're apart from Dan Earthquake, everyone else's wives cheating on them. You know, if you're a male out there with physique and you don't have the looks like me and Ryan, and you're genuinely suffering with your physique, obviously, you can see the peak. There's probably fuck all for you.
You're fucked. Give up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, you may as well just jump on a line halfway across the North Sea, couple of fucking dumbbells around, just fucking jump in, because you never look this good. You're never going to be the men that we are. I mean, look. I mean, he's tried to be 6 foot. He's tried. He can stand country, can still only be 5'11" and a quarter. So meant to have it, and some are not. But thankfully, I'm blessed. And that's that.
Some people letting your secrets out in this chat, Paul.
Go on, carry on. Go on, why are you saying
Those-
what one?
Muscle Bike says that your dress is in lingerie, you're just trying that.
Give me that, mate. Listen, Muscle Bike. We all know what you're like. And the fat Chinese baby with the phone, have you seen that? That spit it. Ever seen Muscle Bike? That's him. He's like a little slinty eyes, little fat chunky baby, like chins and a Chinese telephone directory. And the truth is this: you're an absolute pathetic human being. Like the best part of you ran down your leg. Your waist size is equator. You know, ugly as a kid. Your mum and dad used to feed you with a fucking catapult. So you just keep fucking shut and go and fucking play in the women's dirt league or whatever it is. Go on, carry on.
Sunday on Armed Gods, you can see the Udazumo Championships up in Birmingham. Paul's going to bring the cameras up there. It's me and Dean Bolt, the national masters. And I know there's another team coming from Devon. I don't know who else is coming. There's tender elbows, tender feelings. We don't do that sort of stuff. So it's going to be rough tumble, tag team action. That could suit you, Ryan, actually. You might want to come and do a bit of...
on your table.
Well, we've only had 1 or 2 serious injuries, so it's all right.
I like those odds. I like those odds.
They don't tend to come back too many times, but yeah, it's good. So that's next week. You coming, Nick Dodd?
Not a chance.
No, you're taking a piss. Well, you use one of them stand-up bar tables. How the fucking hell's he getting on it?
No, it's like
We heard about an arm wrestle like that anyway.
Well, from what I saw tonight, you arm wrestled like that.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Strong spot.
Clearly training with Ryan and Cave Trolls, doing you no good on Friday morning. Better triple up your sessions.
You can wear stilts or something like that.
Yeah, I'll give it
Platform shoes. You've won some. Oh, you've got to give him your platform shoes.
I mean, when I'm looking at Coach here now, it's like, I don't know if anyone remembers the movie Twins. Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what it reminds me of. We've obviously got the old balding chunky one on the end there, the short one, and then the one. I think I did mention your line on camera, but I backed it because I was scared of the like small man syndrome attack afterwards. I like if he watches his never speak again, he'll jump on me back like that, like a gremlin, and start biting me. I thought, oh. But I actually said it was a nice Mohican.
Oh, thanks, mate.
All 9 strands of it.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said.
Thing is, I've got more strands over my cyst than you than you've got on your. I know, fucking hell. Hopefully, I get me sat nav off soon, but it's just not happening. Like, even fucking doctor when I was sat there in hospital and he combed it back and he went, "Oh, fucking hell!" You know what I mean? He's like rubbing it. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Ah." He's like, "It's on his wife's tit." I'm like, "He's my head, you know." He's like, "Oh." So hopefully, but you imagine cream cheese what come out of that though when they cut it. Oh, it's going to be awful, isn't it? I'll save it just for you, Mark. So, Josh, highlight of the night. Who'd you up next apart from David Bradford? You've got a big match we can't speak about coming up in a couple of weeks. You can really, we don't care. You don't know who your opponent is.
I didn't know if I would say.
Oh, you're not?
I don't know.
Oh, I know who it is. It's Double T. Isn't it? Tim the No, are you allowed to say who it is?
I don't know, man. I haven't said. Oh, I don't know, like. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, we won't mention it to respect for you, Josh.
Yeah.
But he's arm wrestling Tim Talmadge. He's an absolute twat bag as well. I hope you smash him to bits.
I'll do my best, lads.
Yeah, he's not my favourite person, that one. I mean, talk about an ugly fella. I mean, you know. No, you're pretty good looking. Pretty good looking. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, like, if you was a little bit darker shade, you'd look like that old 400-metre running Moses Kiptanui. It was. No, Moses Kiptanui was the 1,500-metre Moroccan. Yeah, it was Moses. He was a good one. He's really, and he wore glasses like that. It made him faster. No, but you know what he does look like, don't you? You're old arcade game people. The baddie from Sonic the Hedgehog, that Doctor. Just look into that camera and show him. Does he look like the baddie from Sonic? No, right up to it. Go on. Does he look like the body? Paul time. Does he look like the baddie from Sonic, or does he look like what was it? The fucking Yeti from Harry and the Henderson. Just Google it if you've not seen it. Manda, I'm going to bring you in the show. What's been the highlight of your Ultimate Arm Wrestling career from now? Oh, Josh, let you interview.
I don't know. You go.
Well, I'm not doing it.
Well, I just don't know where to start, to be fair. It's definitely not you and your abuse, that's a fact. I suppose it's probably getting the opportunity to see some of the guys I wouldn't normally see up close and personal. I don't mean that in a wrong kind of way, by the way. It sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? But some of the guys, obviously, you don't get to see so often. Some of the guys aren't always the guys that get chosen super matches or have been to kind of Valhalla or etc. I think probably what I like about Ultimate Arm Wrestler, take the shit of a brother aside, is that he does try and give everybody a platform, whether that is a big platform on one of the Valhalla shows because you put in the work and you're consistent, you provide those results, but also those guys that may not be at that level and we're still aspiring to be at that level, you get to kind of come to this freezing cold gym. I mean, we're selling it so well. Yeah, like not fully functioning toilet, but you get your sparks, you get your interview, you get to spend time with like-minded people, and you get a pull on that stage. And yeah, if you're lucky enough, you get ripped to pieces afterwards, don't you? And I think for me, I mean, I don't arm wrestle, but you guys who do arm wrestle, just experiencing that for maybe, that hour, must do a really good buzz. I'm assuming so. I don't know.
Absolutely.
See, for me, people say what's this Ultimate Arm Wrestler all about? What the end goal of Arm Gods? And the truth is, a few years ago, we're going back maybe 5-6 years ago now. When arm wrestling was on its arse in the UK, I did a competition down at my uncle's place, as you know, Amanda, and that 2018, late 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a massive tournament, and then from then I formed the PA now, which Dan's the president of, and it sort of took off from there. And I always had a vision of what I wanted it to be because. Even though I've had a long, prosperous arm wrestling career, and it's been an amazing career, and I'm so thankful for everything it's done for me and given me. But I always wanted the lights, I always wanted the sparks, I wanted the smoke. But that really wasn't a thing when I was about. I didn't really get it, I didn't really see it. It wasn't something that we got. He'd come behind a shitty blue curtain saying, "Hey, Paul Maiden, hey, Lee, arm wrestling, woo." And that was it. But I always looped different. I always wanted to be that superstar. I always wanted to be that boxer, that other sportsman coming out, because arm wrestling was never taken as serious as all these other sports. So I had a conversation with Marcus going 2.5 years ago now, and at that time I was still president of the PAA, and to move into Arm Gods and do what I wanted to do, I couldn't do it with the PAA because the PAA, we had to keep professional, we had to go onto the world scene. Don't get me wrong, I can put sparks out and do different stuff. But I spoke with Dan one day, we had a big chat, and I told him the direction I want to go in. And I believed in Dan because I know his past, I know how serious he's been in all his other sports. He's boating and he's golfing, he's boxing, and he's been president and all sorts of committee members of different. And he was the best guy to pass it on. And no one can say Dan Earthquake's not done an amazing job. He's been so much better than I was, in his own way. But he was better than I was, and he's a better man for the job. But with Arm Gods, I just wanted to do a bit more razzmatazz. I wanted to give you guys and everybody else out there the opportunity to feel like a star, something I never got. And that's what I feel like we're achieving now. I'm successful in life. I believe I've got massive success in life. Marcus is successful. We don't do this for money. I mean, because if we did, I mean, fucking hell, we'd both.
Definitely wouldn't be so cold in this gym.
We'd certainly be bankrupt. That's for certain. But and success. Don't get me wrong. Success. I'm not saying success comes with money. But success comes in just in whatever you want to strive, whatever you want to achieve. And then that could be just being a good dad, a good family man, a good brother, a good workmate. Success comes in so many different areas. But I just wanted for you guys to feel what I never felt. I wanted to give you razzmatazz and the smoke, because arm wrestling's given me so much, I want to give back. But by me giving back, I have to give back to you guys. And when I see you walk out them, especially my own team, and the smoke and the sparks and the shouting you all out, it's a fucking honour and a privilege. I love it. I honestly love it. My heart and soul goes into it. And that's what I love most, giving back.
For me, it's just a question to you guys, really. I suppose I've been around the sport for as long as Paul's done it, which has got to be, what, knocking on? 40 years. No, not quite 40 years. But
20 going into me 27th year now, yeah.
Years, and I think kind of when you watch arm wrestling, it's exhilarating. It's gripping. You've got your favourites. You desperately want to see somebody win. You know, you release adrenaline when you're watching it because it is exciting. And you guys, I think people don't realise it. They laugh it off as though it's like some kind of sport, but you are athletes. The work that you put in, day out, yet the sport doesn't get the recognition like, you know, football and rugby and the accolade and the money that comes with it. And I think that must be just really frustrating when you are so committed and you are so dedicated. And it's how do you kind of change that around? How do we kind of support arm wrestling becoming more mainstream, because it's got to be the way forward. And I certainly think, again, not biased because Paul is an absolute shithouse, but what he's trying to do, you know, he's like Marmite. You love him or hate him, but you can't knock what he's trying to do. And the same with Dan in terms of taking the PAA forward. It's just got to be those pockets of individual working together for the same common goal, because when people start diversifying and going off in their own little routes, you're moving away from that main, which is ultimately to get arm wrestling seen, isn't it, and to create those stages for you all.
For me, Amanda, I think.
So what are your frustrations?
But there's not really any frustration. I'll be honest with you, because it's sort of because there is no money in it, and this is the you know well, there is for certain guys now, and that's great. But for me, you really see the judgment of a sports person when there's no money involved. You can see how much I've done this sport for 27 years, and I've earned about six pence. And the truth is, it doesn't get me out of bed in the morning for going to earn money. It's a love of the sport. I love it. I thrive off it. The coaching, the training, the competing, and it's all for me. Like people say about Arm Gods, and they say, "Oh, you're a bit different than everybody else." Why am I different? What? Well, yeah, you're turning away certain people. Well, maybe. But the truth is, when darts was in a conservative club, it did nothing. The second they introduced alcohol, dirty birds with their knockers half hanging out, what happened? Multi-millionaire sponsorship, thousands of people going watch darts, and now you've got millionaire dart players.
Right, well,
okay,
hang on. But I ain't
okay,
so
that's what went on. They're even doing that with snooker. Even snooker gets rowdy people. What's it doing? It builds big crowds. They're doing a golden ball now. You pot it after a 147, you're making £1 million. You know, all like even with the boxing in Riyadh, look what they're doing to it, because people understand that you've got to attract them people into it. Who brings the biggest crowds into arm wrestling? Whether you love us or you don't. Who brings the crowd into arm wrestling? Nobody else apart from who? One, Arm Gods. Us. We bring alcohol, we bring fucking fights and fists, and we bring shouting in, screaming, and great nights out. Nobody else is doing that. So you can look at my ways and the way I'm on camera, effing and blinding and this, that, and other, and it may be everyone's cup of tea. But the truth is, we're real. We're not trying to be something we're not. We're doing it selflessly. There's nothing in it. It's a selfless act, what we're doing. We're not trying to make money. We're not.
Well, shall we see what everybody else thinks?
Hang on, in a minute when I'm talking. But the thing is with us, that I honestly believe that we have the right path. No, yeah, we might have to do a few minor adjustments somewhere down the line. Guys that we have are generally all real. And you can go along in life and you all know we've got that fake twat, haven't we? We have people who are fake and this. But we're not fake. There's no either of us. There's no grey area with us. It's black or white. And it always and that's what makes us likeable. That's why we have a hardcore group of fans.
Muscle
And that's that.
Bike's comment. He says if Paul grows the sport like he grows his belly, we'll be taking over the world. So I suppose you guys, you've like, I don't know, maybe what do you think about the sport? How do you think it's developing? And do you not get like any frustrations around that you're not taken as seriously as some athletes?
I tell you what, when I first came to the sport, I was just 6.5 years ago coming up. First tournament was the PAA, Paul's first one he created in Wigan. It was amazing. It was a lot I didn't think he expected that many people to turn up. One table on the go, and we were there till 12 o'clock at the night. And even though it was a long day, I thought, this is brilliant. All out, went out, had a good drink with the boys and stuff, you know. But yeah, it took off from here, and it's just been amazing ever since. And he's done a good job. Obviously, Dan Earthquake, amazing job. We really close as well. And yeah, the arm gods thing, I speak to Paul about it a lot, all the time on the phone. We talk a lot about it, and yeah, I love it, man. It's something I love to be a part of and want to do for the rest of my life, like, you know.
Obviously, I'm brand new anyway, but I've seen a change in the last 2-3 years. It seems to be getting more and more mainstream. A few bigger names like make it more and more popular. And I'm telling you now, well, I come from bodybuilding. There's fuck all money in bodybuilding. And just experiencing what I have done one night at Arm Gods, it's special. It's good. It makes you feel a certain, I don't know, it just feels like you're valued. You're actually part of a show that actually, and it means something. Whereas with bodybuilding, it's a bit more of a conveyor belt, in out, 100,000, whatever the hell. So yeah, from my perspective, just just dipping my toe in now, it feels really good. And if this is anything to go, I think it's got, it's only going to grow more and more and more. I think there's also a lot of people don't understand arm wrestling. They just think, your arm. That's what I hear with bodybuilders. Oh, you're just going to break your arm. You're just going to break your arm. It's like, I think a misunderstanding of what actually is going on here. And as you say, like, we're athletes. And there's a lot of effort that's gone into it. A lot of technique. It's not just guys in the pub trying to smash each other, breaking each other's arms. So misunderstanding is one of the issues. And I think if we can try and overcome that, it's going to grow more.
I would say from my end, I've competed in a lot of different sports and a range of different sports. I think that despite what anyone else might say, I think it's probably the most inclusive sport that I've been in to feeling as part of a community of people. Even in strongman, which is, bigger as a sport, you get to know people, but you don't get to feel the community of things. Like, I actually like going to the events because I'm going to go, like, see you guys, see Josh, and, see yourself, Mark, and I look forward to seeing that, and I look forward to seeing the progress we've made since we last met and stuff like that. When I competed in powerlifting, it was just dull as hell. The eating process is just awful. You may as well do it at home in your own gym. Like, it's just garbage, and it's what Paul said before about it. You need the spectacle. Otherwise, your work can pay off just for you to get stronger, but for you to have a life in the sport, you need to feel appreciated, and part of that is part of the spectacle. And that's what Arm Gods is trying to create as well, and not just a spectacle for like the top 20 people in the world. It gives that for everybody who is dedicated and contributing. But that's what people need to be doing as well. Well, they need to be contributing to places like Arm Gods for this to happen. They need to be showing up at events. They need to be doing stuff on the website. They need to be engaging in the content, because with that is what, even though like Paul, it's profit making, but it allows the next thing to happen, and the next thing to happen, the next thing to happen. So we all need to, in my opinion, be appreciating what we have got, what's being built, appreciate the community, and be part of that, and continue building it as a force, because that's what's going to take it to the next level, and that's what's missing in a lot of other sports and disciplines. And that's my view on it entirely, to be honest.
I agree with you, Nate, that it's definitely a family, and it's definitely back in the day, I tried my hand at it, but even now, as Paul's sister, as just as a supporter of the sport, I know and have been around some of you guys for a really long time, and there isn't any of you that I feel comfortable around, or you know, you're just all really great guys. There are a couple of exceptions, but we won't go there. And I agree in terms of yeah, don't start me.
Dean Bolt is that bastard.
Dean Bolt is a lovely guy. He's definitely not one of the people I'm
I just
thinking
want to
about.
say, 1 second. Sorry, Dean. Just want to say to everyone that Dean, we're thinking of, and I hope the AIDS treatment is going well. We recently found out that Dean had AIDS due to his time in Bangkok, where unfortunately what he thought was a lady, and there was a meeting to veg. He didn't stop, he carried on, and unfortunately contracted HIV.
So what I was kind of gonna say, you made he does he like knocks you off your tangent, doesn't it? So there were two things. I had a question for Nick, but the other thing was I do think like engaging just in the content on social media and sharing stuff is really powerful, because Facebook can rely on algorithms. So if you're not regularly interacting, even just putting a thumbs up to a post or liking it is really powerful in terms of spreading that message across more people. You're an animal. And my question was, obviously,
Dan's not said his piece.
so you know we'll go back to Dan, obviously. But I know, but it's my it's my brain. What I was going to say, Nick, is you've competed both on kind of Valhalla shows, and you've been on Ultimate Arm Wrestler now a couple of times. Like, obviously for me there are stark differences with that. Like when you're on Valhalla, there's lots of supporters, there's a crowd, people are really getting behind you. Whereas Ultimate Arm Wrestler, it really is quite an intimate little thing, isn't it? There's not really very many people around. Which of those stages do you prefer, if any? And what are the pros and cons of kind of being on both of those shows? Like,
I mean, Ultimate Arm Wrestlers, it's a great experience, but you know, I don't think anything compares to being on the big shows. So, you know, I look forward to the announcement of the next big show, and I wait, and I'm like, oh, am I on it? Am I not on it? You know, that sort of thing. But even being there as a spectator, it's second to none. You know, it's an amazing event. As we know, when we went to Ireland, I probably brought over about 10 people, and every single one of them absolutely loved it. And these are people that are not into arm wrestling. Like, that's what that show was. That's what these shows bring to the table. The power and the capacity of being that good to bring in non-arm wrestlers into the sport as a spectator sport. That's how powerful they are. So for us as the athletes, you can only imagine how amazing it feels to have that entire experience and get up on that stage. It's just insane. You know, Ultimate Arm Wrestler is amazing, of course it is, but that's the grand scale. You know, so the Valhalla shows for me are the gold standard. You know, they're look forward to all year. Look forward to the announcement of and hearing what matches are going to happen.
I can't really let rip and start shouting my head off, can I? When we're just in gym.
Yeah, that's it. You know, so it's the experience is another level. Yeah.
No worries, thank you.
And then we're going to let you wrap up.
Oh, thanks.
I like the randomness of arm wrestling. I think the best thing, I know, because I've made it no secret, I like tournaments because I like to roll up and just see who you're up against. I like it in the Worlds, I like it in the Euros. I go to those things knowing I've got no real chance of winning because I'm not that good. I've helped try and build it in the way that eventually in the Euros and the Worlds, too many people there and they'll want to make it the best ones go and they'll exclude me then. But that hasn't stopped me from wanting to do it because I think that randomness, and we've had results today, you lost today, but we could tomorrow or next week, and maybe things are just things. Yeah, but it's just an example. Anybody, you know. I mean, him and him was against each other today. If you weren't watching, wankers, idiots. Should have been watching, shouldn't you? That's the thing. You can run these things back. In a lot of sports, I can remember Frank Bruno got beat by Mike Tyson, and then forever, you're always looked at being lesser than the other one that beat you. But in arm wrestling, on the circuit, the same people arm wrestle quite often in different circumstances. They might have a super match, they might be in a tournament, they might be in a war zone. And the differences of the different parts of their training make different results. So nothing's so certain. And I think that uncertainty and that interest in improvement and progression, the thing I talk about the most in for what I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to grow the sport. I'm not trying to get people who are lazy off the couches to do it. I'm trying to provide something for the people that are in it to get better. Now, along the way, I upset a lot of people because some are just fucking babies and they want to be spoon-fed and breastfed, and I'm not up to do that. We tell you what time the tournament's on, we tell you what the rules are, and if you don't like it, fuck off. Because there's other things to do. I'm quite certain about that. And that doesn't suit everybody. Fuck off. I ain't bothered. Because the people that it does suit are making progress, and that's all I'm trying to do. And I said from the start, I'm not him. He was a very hard act to follow because he's a charismatic person. I'm grumpy a lot of the time. Like people. But what I do like is the randomness of these things. And it is just the random combinations of fake. Mark will tell you, Paul will tell you. You get friends in different countries and you meet up with them again. It's like you've never been away. And I know a lot of sports are like that. And I've been involved in lots of sports and I've got friends in lots of things. But the arm wrestling, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're all fucking special needs.
Yeah. But there's something, there's just something about it which makes it exciting. And I guess that's what we...
Well, I need to read this super chat out. And it's from our very old friend, one of the Arm Gods Army, Muscle Bike. Valhalla 4, going to be huge in Atlantic City in March 2025. Oh, and the team has not yet been made. The team has not been yet been made, so expect a phone call, guys. Right, we're going to go to Merck. Have you said your piece, Josh? Yeah. Oh, thank fuck for that.
Just me.
Right, go on, Merck. Talk a glass eye sleep. I'm only joking. No,
of course.
We love you to pieces.
Thank you very much.
You know that.
Yes, I know. So what can I say? I think pretty much arm wrestling just now. I mean, I agree with all the comments just made. I started arm wrestling 4 years ago because I love arm wrestling, and I do love arm wrestling. But I think more importantly, I love the arm wrestling community. Like Dan just said, you've got mates everywhere around the world. Wherever I go on holiday, there'll be a club down the road, and they'll invite me in, and I'll have a great time with all of them. You get another bunch of mates. Or if I go to a competition in Euros, there's 600 mates there suddenly. So wherever you go in the world, there's a great community, and I think the arm wrestling community is absolutely brilliant. That's it.
Well, I'm going to say to you, I don't see them as mates. You are see them as
Go on.
people I want to fucking destroy. Oh,
That's what I meant. That's
and,
it. Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
the truth. Like that's the truth. Like well, I remember when I was in my pomp, and I was never arrogant or a bit of a wanker. With you, when I was in my pomp, I never wanted to beat anyone. I just wanted to fucking destroy them. I wanted to beat them that bad that they never dared face me again. I remember I used to walk over to competition table where trophies were. Just pick winners' trophy, sit down and put it on my desk. Because what? And guess what? Nobody ever came and lifted it off. Why? Because not one of them had the confidence to say I was going to be wrong. No, every now and again I ended up chin. That was about to 2003. I didn't lose till 2003, 2009. But that was half the part and parcel. I know when I walked in that room and I used to grow 2-3 inches and my chest went wider, pull back, and I used to walk in there and people used to be like, fucking hell, he's rolled up.
The fucking trophy running it.
Yeah, but that's where you're wrong, because I didn't care. I had no remorse. And you might have beat me up, fair, but you'd have gone for a piss. When you'd gone for a piss, you'd have been gone. Because I'd ram your head in. Fucking urinal.
Yeah, in your dreams, pal.
And on that note, before me and Dan Earthquake get on the gloves and stand on the street and just have a straightener and then become friends afterwards, I am this. Neil Pickup, you're back on the scene. I saw you with your seminar you did in Newcastle. Congratulations. It's actually nice to see you get off your fucking fat ass. Some the UK guys, whatever. But yeah, it's true. Battle of Britain. Let's get it on. I'm sick of this, Neil. You're terrified. You're shaking in your boots. You've no need to. You've no need to. You're the man. You're the multiple-time world champion. The one that the world sees as number one. The number one with your fingers shaking shite. And I'm just purely old Paul. Little mealy old arm gods. And you're the championship arm wars. We'll put it on your platform if you want. We'll share the pay-per-view money. Me I am Paul Maiden against you, the unnatural Neil Pickup. Let's get it on the line, and we'll just see who man is. We'll see who the real man is. We'll show the world who the real man is and who the fake guy is. So come on, Pav. Do I have a yes? And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. It's been an amazing show tonight. Good night and God bless.